Hey everyone! Today, I want to share my journey of learning English. If you've ever felt frustrated, insecure, or just completely lost when trying to learn a new language, trust me, I've been there. But the good news is, it gets better. So stick around because I'll also be sharing some of my best tips that helped me along the way. Learning English was not easy for me at the beginning. I remember my first English class. I was terrified. I barely understood what the teacher was saying, and every time I had to speak, my hands got sweaty and my voice trembled. One of my biggest fears was making mistakes. I didn't want people to laugh at me, so I avoided speaking as much as I could. But guess what? That was my biggest mistake. The only way to get better is by actually speaking, even if you make a fool of yourself sometimes. Another thing that made learning difficult was pronunciation. English has so many words that sound similar but mean completely different things. I remember once, instead of saying, "I'm hungry," I accidentally said, "I'm angry," and my friend looked so confused. We laughed about it later, but that moment made me realize that pronunciation matters a lot. At some point, I realized that I had to change my mindset. Instead of seeing mistakes as failures, I started seeing them as part of the learning process. I remember once I was trying to say beach, but I pronounced it wrong, and it sounded like, well, something completely different. My friends corrected me, we all laughed, and I never made that mistake again. That moment taught me that making mistakes is okay. It's actually one of the best ways to learn. So, how did I improve? Here are some things that really worked for me. Talking to myself. Sounds crazy, but it works. I started narrating my daily activities in English. Like, now, I'm making coffee, or I should really clean my room. It helped me practice without the fear of being judged. Watching movies and series in English. I started with subtitles in my native language, then switched to English subtitles, and finally, no subtitles at all. It was hard at first, but over time, my brain started understanding naturally. One of the funniest moments? I picked up a British accent after binge-watching too much Sherlock. Using apps and online resources. Duolingo, Memrise, and YouTube were lifesavers. I even changed my phone's language to English so I'd be forced to see and use English every day. Speaking with native speakers. This was a game changer. I joined language exchange groups online and found people willing to practice with me. It was nerve-wracking at first, but once I survived my first awkward conversation, things got easier. Thinking in English. This was difficult at the start, but I slowly trained my brain to stop translating everything. Instead of thinking, how do I say this in English? I just tried to form sentences naturally. Writing every day. One thing that helped me a lot was keeping a journal in English. I would write about my day, my thoughts, or even what I learned in English that day. This helped me improve my grammar and expand my vocabulary. Practicing with songs. I started listening to English songs and singing along. At first, I got the lyrics all wrong, but over time, I started recognizing words and understanding their meaning. Plus, it was a fun way to practice pronunciation. Of course, not every day was great. There were times when I felt super confident, like when I successfully ordered food in English without hesitating. But then there were moments of doubt, like when I tried to have a deep conversation, and my brain just shut down. Another embarrassing moment was when I was traveling and asked for directions. I confidently walked up to someone and asked, "Can you help me?" But I was so nervous that when they started giving me directions, I just nodded and walked away, without understanding a single word. But these moments are part of the process. You have to laugh at yourself and keep going. But that's the thing with learning a language, it's not a straight line. Some days you feel like a pro, and other days you feel like you know nothing. And that's normal. One of the biggest lessons I learned is that attitude is everything. If you're afraid of making mistakes, you'll hold yourself back. If you're embarrassed about your accent, you won't speak. The key is to embrace the process and have fun with it. Also, be patient with yourself. Language learning is like going to the gym. You won't see results overnight. But if you keep going, one day you'll realize how much stronger, or in this case, fluent, you've become. A great mindset shift that helped me was celebrating small victories. If I learned a new word, I celebrated. If I had a short conversation in English, I felt proud. These little wins kept me motivated. A final message. If you're learning English, remember, you'll never be perfect, but you don't need to be. The goal is to communicate, to connect with people, and to enjoy the journey. So go out there, make mistakes, laugh at yourself, and keep going. You've got this. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more tips and personal stories. And tell me in the comments, what's the funniest or most embarrassing thing that happened to you while learning English? I'd love to hear your stories. See you next time.